Alright, Shalom. Giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kodash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone of all well. Shalom to Yarkin, pushing this word around the globe in faith and in truth. With sincerity, as always, I'd like to start by saying that we are the real Hebrew Israelites. The real Israelites, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians, West Africans predominantly. But you are going to get Israelites that do look like the other nations, because Israel has been scattered amongst all people throughout our various captivities. But if your seed line by your forefathers goes back to the man in the Bible who was named Israel, then you too are an Israelite, no matter what you may look like, because the book of Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18 states that your lineage, which is your nationality, is determined by the lineage of your forefathers. Okay, so this is the brother Caleb from the GMS London Forecasters Camp, back with another lesson. Got a little article here from the Sun newspaper. It says, Boxing Clever. Boxing's Olympic golden girl Nicola Adams pleads, if you're high risk, get vaccine and let's KO COVID. So as you can see, they've got this Jake girl, this woman who's an Israelite, to promote the Esau's agenda, which is nothing new. And, you know, we've been saying that this is what they're going to do for the longest time, where they're going to try and use celebrities to try and encourage the people to follow Esau's NWO agenda, which is to get everybody vaccinated. So let's watch this quick clip and I'll get into the article now. I'll get some scriptures, Lord willing.
I wanted to come here today to hopefully encourage more people to come and get the vaccine, see how everything's set up, how the volunteers are doing, and just seeing the good work that everybody's putting in to hopefully get everybody vaccinated and we can get back to normal. All the volunteers, from speaking to them, they're doing such a good job and they're all loving the job that they're doing. And I think that's the main thing. Everybody's really enthusiastic and happy to help and get everybody organised in for the jabs, and it's really good to see.
I've really enjoyed it. I mean, the experience has been sort of almost quite emotional on occasions, because you realise quite how scared people actually are of the virus, and we have had one or two patients, and it's really been the first time they've been out of the house since March, and the gratitude of a lot of the patients is really quite heartwarming as well.
I'm Dr. Mohammed Sattar. I'm a GP partner here, and we have in record time set up a vaccination centre alongside our normal GP work, and it's a truly collaborative experience. It's so challenging, and sometimes you go home and you think, you know what, it's so hard, and when we've got people behind us like Nicola Adams, it's amazing. It's going to give the whole community a boost, the team a boost. Is really excited and really grateful that you've come along today.
Thank you to everybody that's signed up to be a volunteer, doing an unbelievable job. I guess the more the merrier. Anybody that hasn't signed up, that wants to sign up, definitely come down, sign up and help out.
Right, so that's that. I'm going to bring out a preset, bear with me while I find it. Right. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 12 and verse 10. Sirach chapter 12 and verse 10 states, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not altogether been wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh unto wild beasts? You know? So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in sins, who will pity? And that applies to that Nicola Adams girl, because she's an Israelite, whether she knows it or not. But there she is, following after the ways of Esau, running after her so-called slave master, you know, clinging unto Egypt when Egypt's going to be destroyed. And for those of you who don't know, the modern day Egypt is Babylon the Great, which is America, and the word Egypt simply means house of bondage. And it's the house of bondage for the Israelites, who is in captivity in the first Egypt, and we're in captivity again now, which is the second Egypt, which is Babylon the Great. So it says, verse 15, for a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. And if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall undermine thee. He will shake his head and clap his hands, and will whisper much, and change his countenance. I want to get Matthew chapter 16, verse 26. Because she's basically sold out and is promoting the agenda of the wicked. So she's sold her soul to this system. Matthew 16:26. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? What shall a man give in exchange for his soul? So there they are, they're giving her some flipping cheap trinkets for her to promote the agenda of the wicked to her people. But in the process, she's losing her own soul. You know what I mean? Because we're not supposed to make any cuttings in our flesh. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 28. Ye shall not make... It's lucky I've got notifications on. I should have turned those off. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am Yahweh. Deuteronomy 32 and 39. See now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So we're not supposed to be afraid of what Esau can do or what these so-called viruses can do. We're really supposed to be following after the ways of the Most High and following after what he wants and being afraid of the Most High, because I read it again, this is the words of Yahweh. See now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So it's all in the power of the Most High, man. So our job, Ecclesiastes 12 and 12. It's like Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. So we're supposed to be keeping his commandments to the best of our ability. Going to jump into Revelation, the 3rd chapter. Just flowing in the spirit here. Yeah. Revelation chapter 3 verse 17. Because thou sayest, I am rich and increased with goods and have need of nothing, and knowest not that thou art wretched and miserable and poor and blind and naked. That's what that Nicola Adams girl is. She's one of these people, because she's supposedly a celebrity in this world. She's supposedly doing it. Revelation 3 and 17 is a clean cut for her. Because thou sayest, I am rich and increased with goods and have need of nothing, and knowest not that thou art wretched and miserable and poor and blind and naked. I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear, and anoint thine eyes with eye salve, that thou mayest see. And as many as I love I rebuke and chasten. Be zealous therefore and repent. So this girl, she ain't thinking about the Most High. She's off doing her own thing. It says, boxing clever. Boxing's Olympic golden girl, Nicola Adams, pleads if you're high risk, get vaccinated and let's KO COVID. It's lucky. Boxing's Olympian golden girl, Nicola Adams, weighed in the fight to persuade everyone to have a COVID jab. Yesterday, the retired world-class fighter, i.e. the washed-up world-class fighter, joined with the volunteers of the Sun's Jabs army of helpers to set up a vaccination hub near her home in Leeds. And after a report found that the ethnic minority adults, surprise, surprise, were up to 20% less likely to accept the jab than white people. There's no such thing as white people, they're Edomites. Nicola, 38, said, I would definitely say that everyone should get the vaccine when they are offered, especially if you're at a high-risk category. Oh, so she's a medical professional now, is she? Not just some boxer. Okay. There's nothing to worry about. I know there is something to worry about. I just read it, Leviticus 19:28. We're not supposed to make any cuttings in our flesh. But she says there's nothing to worry about. It's a standard jab. It's no different to any other jab you've had. It's important to listen to the government's advice and get the vaccine. Well, I've got a cold cut for you. Acts, the 5th chapter. Let me get that. Lord willing. Acts 5:38, I believe. Yeah, this is right. Yeah, it's Acts 5 and the 29th chapter. It said, and Peter and the other apostles answered and said to them, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men. So the reason why I'm bringing that precept up, because she says, it's important to listen to the government's advice and get the vaccine. Well, Acts, the 5th chapter and the 29th verse says, then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men. And how much less a woman? Women ain't supposed to be speaking, and usurping authority over the men. They're not supposed to be teaching and stuff like that. The only things a woman's supposed to be teaching is to teach other women how to be good wives to their husbands. To teach the other women good things, not to be flipping out there as leaders, because that's not their role. It says there's nothing to worry about if it's a standard jab. It's no different to any other jab you've had. It's important to listen to the government's advice and get the vaccine. The report highlighted by the government science advisory group SAGE found that black or black British groups were most likely to hesitate about the jab, meaning you Israelites, with 72% saying they would be unlikely or very unlikely to get vaccinated. Real boost. This week's celebrities including comedian Ramesh Raghunatharayan and Mira Sal launched a 5-minute video to urge ethnic minorities to have the COVID jab when offered. See, these celebrities getting paid to push this shit. Yesterday, Nicola, who had to pull out of last year's Strictly Come Dancing when her pro partner Katia Jones tested positive for coronavirus, pitched in with 17 Jabs Army volunteers at Woodhouse Medical Practice in Leeds. Dr. Mohammed Saitar, a GP at the practice, said the hesitancy by some people from certain communities to come forward has been a real worry for us, especially here in such a diverse community. You have to trust people in the community getting out the message. That's just as important as the message itself. The volunteers are also important in this because they can see what's happening on the ground. They can go back to their communities and spread the message. Yeah, you can go and tell your people to fucking trust in Esau. Like a sellout. Like the damn reprobate sellout you are. And having Nicola to spread that message is a real plus. Dr. Sattar said having a local celebrity here has given us a real boost. When we're planning our vaccination program 12 weeks ago, We said, wouldn't it be brilliant to get Nicola Adams to come down, and here she is. Good grief. We're so grateful that she has come along to say she's right behind this, so people can then come forward for this vital treatment and we can get out of lockdown. Oh yeah, so if you don't take the jab, you're holding back everybody else. Yeah, right, sure. And here you've got this woman here, Nicola Adams, who is a known sodomite doing this shit here. I mean, how stupid does this look? You got two flipping grown-ass women dancing like this. It's ridiculous, man. But this is the type of person they'll get to promote this thing, because this person is totally up into this society. You know, she's part of the system. Therefore, she's going to get destroyed with the system and anyone else who is in league with the beast. So there you go. Nicola also praised every single one of you who has rolled up your sleeves to help fight the pandemic with our Jabs army. She said, thank you to everybody who signed up. You're doing an unbelievable job. The flyweight ex-fighter, the first ever double gold Olympic female boxer, proved a heavyweight when it came to directing patients yesterday. Nicola, who lives with her girlfriend, Leviticus 20:13. It says, if a man lie also with mankind as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. Let me read that again in case you didn't understand. Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 13 states, if a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. That's the judgment for sodomy. I want to 2 Peter's 5th chapter, I believe. No, there's no 5th chapter in 2 Peter's. Let me just search 3. 1. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, here we are. 2 Peter 2 and 5. Now let me go 2 Peter 2 and 4. For if the Most High spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down into hell, speaking of us Israelites, and delivered them unto chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the 8th person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in a flood upon the world of the ungodly, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an ensample unto those that after should live ungodly, speaking of you, Nicola Adams, and your ilk, and delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked, for that righteous man dwelling among them, seeing and hearing, vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. You know? So it says, Nicola, who lives with her girlfriend, model Elia Baig, said, 22, said, I want more to come to hopefully encourage more people to get the vaccine and see how everything's set up, how the volunteers are doing and the good work that everyone's putting in to hopefully get back to normal. There was no normal, man. This society is wicked and it's got to go out, and it's going to go out in flames. All the volunteers are doing such a good job and they're all loving the work they're doing. Everyone's really enthusiastic and happy to help. Why are you going to take advice from a person who can't even align herself with the correct way that a woman ought to be in this world? That make no sense, man. If this is the person that you want as your leader, then follow after her to your own perdition. It says, it was the beginning of the month when we launched our drive to support the Royal Voluntary Service and in amassing our Jabs army of helpers. Just 18 days later, he helped us reach our target of signing up 50,000 people as stewards to assist in rolling out COVID vaccines to the population. This article is long, man, and it doesn't really need to be, because I've made the point. There's not really much else I need to bring out in this. I've made the point, Lord willing, it's edifying. So with that, giving all praises, honor and glory unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. Shalom to Arkin, pushing this word around the globe with faith in truth and as always in sincerity. And until I'm able to do another lesson, Lord willing, I'll say Shalom for now. Wa abba babo, wa kwam yashawala. Shalom.